I now
His Excellency Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, former President of India, General N.C. Vij, Vice Chairman NDMA, Dr. Prahlada, Professor Reddy, then we have Dr. Rao, Justice Rao, and Mr. Ananda Babu, who is the convener. And ladies and gentlemen, I have been asked to speak on a very specialized area. Basically, I can only give a bird's eye view that which are the areas where there is requirement of a specialized response in man-made disasters. It is difficult to do justice with a talk like that, but I would like to create slight awareness on this matter, that what all is needed in our management system. As you all know, that India is highly vulnerable to both natural and man-made disasters, and last few decades have shown that increased frequency both in case of the natural as well as man-made disasters. Till about tsunami, we were much concerned about the natural disasters which will carry on, it will happen. Most of them are not preventable, but preparedness will certainly mitigate the effects of these disasters, and we can reduce the loss of life and economic losses. The Government of India had taken a very proactive step in enacting the Act and creating a institutionalized mechanism for disaster management across the country, on which General Vij, Honorable Vice Chairman, has already deliberated, so that right from the district upwards, there are bodies which will take care not only during the response but also prepare themselves to face any eventuality of that kind. I am not going to tell you the functions of NDMA and NEC that all been deliberated, but I would like to say that the present scenario in last few years that has been happening is repeated episodes of man-made disasters. Classically, the man-made disasters can be purely understood by general public as those caused by NBC or CBRN. But I would like to apprise the House here that there are a large number of other man-made disasters like global warming, climate change, what we call it, the roadside accidents every day occurring and resulting in large number of deaths, and there are so many movement of the crowd from displacement of the population and increasing population in the country. All these are man-made disasters, but can they be really called as acute disasters where you have to put in your resources in the management in an acute, proactive manner? Well, they have to be managed, planned and managed in a proper manner by any government. But those that we are, every day our citizen is concerned is the number of the so-called episodes of bomb blast and things like that happening in our cities. If it is so, then are we prepared for that? And for this, we really require a specialized response. The response will be, I will not talk in the form of a response, but I would like to talk in the form of preparedness for the response, because the response automatically will be efficient and quick if we are fully prepared for that. Two major elements that should be discussed when we talk about management of man-made disaster. One is the early warning system that we called in common man's language. This warning system cannot be really successful unless our intelligence agencies are able to deliver goods to the managers who handle the disasters well in advance, and this has been advocated in our guidelines that need to know basis intelligence input must be given to all the managers and other stakeholders who manage disasters. The second part is the training and education of our executors or managers or our administrators. Most of them are highly educated, but are not exposed to various means and tools that are required for management of man-made, so-called CBRN man-made disasters. They are very simple, they can be created, there should be a will, and they are being now incorporated in all hazard management disaster plans. Most of these disasters, CBRN disasters, gain importance because of two factors. Number one, the fear in the mind of the population and the psychological effect that is left after an episode. Though they may not cause a large number of casualties on the spot, we cannot call them a mass casualty event unless it is in a Holocaust, like a nuclear Holocaust. I am not talking of that. So these small episodes leave a lot of psychosocial trauma in the mind of people. So this part assumes a lot of importance in day-to-day working of the people and the safety and security that one feels in the country. In the management system, as I covered, that first part was the early warning system or warning system and the education and training to the our administrators, our managers, and those who manage the disasters. But more than that, it is the management of the casualties that occur after these disasters require specialized areas. And that can be usually discussed in, if you talk in the medical terms, then it is the pre-hospital care at the disaster site, the incident command post that is established usually at the site of disaster, the medical post and the specialized facility must be incorporated, and that is very important part of it. The second part is the detection of facilities for detection for CBRN agents. The second part that can be discussed is the evacuation of these casualties from the incident site to the hospitals, and thirdly, the hospital preparedness for CBRN casualties. Out of CBRN agents, I would like to touch few points on that. That is, as the importance that they attach with them. I have seen across the many countries in the world that many people attach a lot of importance to the chemical terrorism disasters, because those disasters leave large number of deaths at a site. They result into the mass casualty event in a very short period, and whereas the radiological accidents or leaks can create a small amount of health hazard to a small number of people who are exposed, but a lot of psychological trauma. The third, that is biological, are assuming a lot of importance because of their easy access by the undesirable elements. Even in household, those who possess a pressure cooker are able to produce such agents and may use them for terrorism purposes. Some of the most important things that we require in the management of these casualties are at the hospital level, in which we must have creation of CBRN decontamination facilities at site as well as hospitals. We should also create CBRN dust filter fitted wards in the hospitals, and we should also develop the facilities for radio dosimetry. We should have updated laboratory services, including those creation of large number of zonal and district level and zonal level and national level biosecurity and biosafety laboratories for security of the bioproducts. We also have to have specialized medical store related to CBRN for the management of these casualties. Few of them are to name: amiforstine, which significantly decreases the radiation toxicity; decorporating agents like DTPA, Then you should have emetics, purgatives, laxatives. Then prior administration of potassium iodide prevents the damage to the thyroid from radiation. Certain important medicines like growth factors, colony stimulating factors, and other radiation agents are very useful. Antidotes for toxic, for chemicals must be stored at places, and large number of antibiotics and vaccines are required as a stocking policy in the country for prevention and management of biological disasters. I would say that emergency medical response is a quick and efficient response can only be achieved if we prepare ourselves adequately for subjects discussed above. Proper SOPs must be prepared for immediate on-site response, which should include specialized casualty management modules. These modules, along with the QMRTs, trained QMRTs, can be activated in the desired scenario. In case we want to achieve this, three more important things have to be incorporated. That is education of various stakeholders at various levels. The first responder should know only don'ts and do's, whereas managers and senior people must know more about them so that the prevention methodology can be instituted. We have NIDM at the national level and ATIs at the state level and district level institutions who are working proactively in this direction for training and for education, imparting modules on these subjects. Training and retraining of various stakeholders is an important activity that is desired in the management of CBR and disasters. And for that, I think we have adopted, as NDMA has adopted, various creating awareness through seminars and conferences like this, also by conducting mock drills. That tomorrow we are doing a tabletop exercise in Hyderabad for mass casualty management, and this will be followed next month by a mock drill. The task for us is challenging but essential for management of CBR disasters. We are confident that NDMA, SDMA, DDMAs, and all other related institutions will surely create management system gradually but surely in the country. I am confident that this conference will be very useful in creating awareness, knowledge, and large number of people will be benefited for carrying a thought from here that what they personally can contribute, and just not forget after a similar kind of conferences and go back. Lastly, I would request the organizers to compile the lessons learned or the directions achieved out of this conference and disseminate to all those who are concerned in disaster management. Jai Hind. Thank you.